Hello, beautiful people of the internet. Welcome back to the Lilo and Heno podcast.
Hello.
Today we're going to be doing a similar thing to what we did, actually the same thing as what we did in our Studio Ghibli video, just this time with Pixar films. We are going to go through every movie by the animated film studio Pixar, and we're going to talk about them. We're going to rank them out of 10, and it's going to be a fun time. Neither of us have seen every Pixar movie. There are a few that we are going to be skipping because we just haven't seen them. But I think both of us, I think we've seen most of these, at least most of these. So, yeah, let's start off with 1995, the first Pixar movie, and I think the first feature length 3D animated film, Toy Story. Take it away, Lily.
Yay. Okay, Toy Story. Very nostalgic for both of us, I'd
Yes.
say.
Yes.
Um, I would go as far as say it was probably the first Pixar movie that we saw too. I mean, obviously when we were watching movies, there had been other ones that
I
had come
don't
out.
I don't think it was for me. I think my
Uh,
first was Ratatouille or Wally,
I,
but
I feel like I saw Toy Story.
definitely one of my first. But anyway, keep going.
Regardless, it's fine. We love it. Everyone should know it. The story. Very creative story, I think. Cool. Very cool. For me, I watched it recently, and I found it to be animation to be very scary. And for the time, it was good. But I think if you were to show it to kids now with the animation that they're used to being more cutesy and, more modern, that showing Toy Story might be a bit much.
Yeah, didn't you try to show it to I mean, I'm not going to say their names, but our your nieces, my second cousins, and they
Yeah,
they they got scared.
yes. And I
Yeah.
forgot about that because watching it as a kid, I thought it was perfectly fine.
Right.
Really.
Because we
Um,
didn't really have a standard for what good animation was. We were just kids. We hadn't really seen a lot of movies.
yeah, I mean, the toys are animated well. It's the people. People are
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah,
uh,
Andy, like there are points where like Andy's eyes are like there are points where I almost feel like I can see through his head in that weird way that only CGI, like crappy CGI animation works. Like there are times where I feel like I'm in like a bad video game and I could like if I like get close enough to Andy, I could like sneak into his head and see through him like you can with like a Minecraft villager. Like that's how that animation. That's what feeling it evokes from me. Um, I guess personally I'm a little bit more forgiving when it comes to that. It didn't really bother me too much. The part where the dog was chasing them, that was the that was the ugliest. That was terrible. The part where Sid's dog was chasing the toys. Remember that?
Sid's house. Just everything in Sid's house is scary.
Well, the toys are supposed.
Wait,
Those toys are supposed to be
but
scary.
his sister is scary. He was scary. The dog was scary. His room was the worst.
Anyone want to tell me why Andy's head is shaped like a peanut?
I don't. They're all shaped like a peanut. What do you
Like
mean?
like he has a bad case of Jimmy Neutron head, which is another example of bad early animation with children's heads being 10 times bigger than their bodies and they look like a fucking peanut. Um, but yeah, it's good to see in Toy Story 3 that he's doing much better. His head has become a
He's
natural
grown into
shape.
his head.
He's a very handsome young man. I'll give it to him. But you certainly wouldn't have been able to tell it from the first movie. Now I'm bullying a virtual child and I feel bad, but it's fine. Anyway, well, what else do you have to say about it?
Nothing. That's
What
it.
would you rate it out of 10?
Oh, don't know. Like, I'm in between, I don't know, maybe a 6, maybe
A
7.
6?
I don't know. It's just like, that animation is, great.
That is
That's the issue
harsh, bro. That is
now.
harsh. 6 out of 10. All right.
Well, okay, but it was like, I almost got in trouble for showing it to kids now. That's why
You almost got in trouble because they cried.
Mm.
Oh my god.
So, I mean, okay, maybe like a 7. I don't know.
You can give it a 6.5 if you can't decide.
No, I'll give it a 7. I'll give it a 7.
Okay, a 7. Yeah, the animation it's very dated. It's very 1995 for sure, but I kind of love the story. I mean, there's a certain feeling about it that's like the storyline and the scripting and the characters. It feels different, like very different from a lot of later Pixar movies. Like I don't know, it just feels different, but it's fun. It's a fun movie. It's a fun adventure. I think I give it a solid 8. I think it's an 8 out of 10 for me. So now moving on, this one should be pretty quick. Moving on to 1998, we have A Bug's Life.
Bad. Moving on.
All right, well, at least give it something out of 10 from what you...
I think I watched the whole thing. I mean, I know I've seen it. It just, like, was so boring. And I didn't watch it. Like, I watched it when I was older. So, like, it wasn't, like, mind-numbing time as a child.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I did watch it when I was a little bit older, and it was boring. I don't think I watched it all the way through. So, 4.
4 out of 10? Okay.
Yeah, 3. I don't know. 4.
I don't... This is definitely a very biased answer. I don't remember this movie very well, but I know I saw it once when I was in, like, elementary school, because they played it after school at Extended Day. And I hated Extended Day. It was awful. Well, the elementary school Extended Day wasn't the worst. In middle school, it got bad. In middle school, it got really fucking bad. But either way, just the words Extended Day, just, I am traumatized by those words. I never want to hear them ever fucking again. Which is funny because you work at an Extended Day now.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. Just my schools, my elementary school and middle school's Extended Day kind of sucked. So I just have a bad association with any movie I saw there. I remember one time we watched a Sonic movie. Oh my god. Anyway, the point is, I usually try to watch the movies at Extended Day, just sit there and watch. But that one did not hold my attention. I think the one thing I remember about it was there was a part where a leaf fell in front of the trail of ants, and they were like, "What the fuck do we do?" And then there was like a company of ants whose entire job was to help people get through situations that seemed impossible, and they like lifted up the leaf, and then they kept walking. I don't fucking know. It was the weirdest thing. It was. I don't know.
What would you rate it?
Yeah, probably a 4 is about right. Hey, at least it's better than Ants. I don't know which studio made Ants, but Ants is a Bug's Life ripoff with worse animation, pretty bad characters, and ugh, I barely remember it, but I watched it when I was young with my parents, and it was just ugh. Even as a kid, I was like, this is shitty. Anyway, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about Pixar. So 4 out of 10 from both of us. Moving on to 1999. Personal favorite of mine, Toy Story 2. You want to start?
I'm actually blanking on what Toy Story 2 is about.
You forget Toy Story 2? Oh, come on.
I do.
This was the one.
About? Oh, it was with the girl cowboy.
That's all you remember?
I remember it now.
It's with the fat dude who's trying to have his Woody's Roundup collection, and so he steals Woody.
Fine.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. Toy Story 2 is pretty good. I got it. I remember it now.
Good.
I just had a brain fart because I was thinking of Toy Story 3 and I couldn't remember. Anyway. Yes, animation improvement.
Very much so.
very much so in this one. I haven't seen this one in a while, but you think it's like the best of the three of the four? There's four now, right?
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, I've heard a lot of people say that, and I would 100% agree. I think it's the best. Yeah.
That's surprising that a second one could be the
I
best one.
know sequels aren't always the greatest, but
Mhm.
yeah,
We're gonna see some in this list.
yeah, and
Um,
we're gonna talk about them. But anyway,
yes. But yeah. I guess rating it, since I say an 8, probably
8.
for this one.
Okay, okay. I think I'd give it a 9. I really enjoy the storyline, of course. Obviously, big animation improvement, like you mentioned, but I love the story. I love how there's two Buzzes, and the other Buzz is like how Buzz used to be, and then the new Buzz is like, oh my God, was I really this delusional? It's pretty funny. Um, yeah, I love this movie. I think it's up there. I think it's one of my favorite Pixar films. Not like there's my favorite Pixar films, and there's my favorite films of all time, which a couple of those will appear on this on the Pixar list, and I will get to those. But yeah, love Toy Story 2. 9 out of 10 from me. Um. Anyway,
Moving on.
moving on to 2001, Monsters Incorporated.
Oh. Okay. I mean, this one was good. Alright, I mean, you, I don't know, I don't really have much to say about it. I was never, like, a huge fan, but I didn't hate it either. Just kind of like an in-between movie for me, but I know, like, a lot of people really like it.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole idea that, where all the monsters are under your bed, like it's the whole factory and that this is their job, is pretty funny. So, let's see, I give it 7.
Yeah, I was gonna say 7 as well. I don't remember it all that well, but I do remember enjoying it from when I have seen it, but it's not one of my favorites, but I remember enjoying it, so I'll give it a 7 as well. Um so all right, so moving on to 2003, we have Finding Nemo.
Finding Nemo. It's a good one.
Yeah, no, I know, I know. I think you probably saw that one more than I did, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, there was like an issue with animating people, though, because this one does have an issue with people.
Oh yeah, doesn't the dentist's daughter with the fucking braces?
Yes.
Oh
But
yeah.
the thing about that one
I
is
guess,
it's not. It only happens for like one part of the movie.
and I think she's kind of meant to be terrifying, isn't she? Because she like,
Yes, but the dentist is terrifying. They're all terrifying.
yeah.
But like the fish are good.
I mean, have you noticed that barely any, like, none of these movies have been about people?
True.
Until the next one on the list. The next Pixar movie is the first movie where like all the protagonists are people. The next one on the list. But anyway, Finding Nemo. Back to Finding Nemo.
I liked Finding Nemo. I watched that one a lot. Yeah, I'm having trouble coming up with things to say.
I know it's kind of hard because we haven't like revisited all these. We just
Yeah.
kind of randomly started doing this podcast.
But out of 10, I'd probably say an 8.
8.
I liked it a lot. I watched it a lot. It was a personal favorite.
I think I'll stick with like a 7, like a neutral rating, kind of like with Monsters Inc. It's like don't remember it super well, but I remember it being good. I remember it being enjoyable. So I'm gonna give that a 7. And yeah, moving on to 2004, we have and this is where Pixar really started to kick themselves in the high gear. Number 6, on the list, The Incredibles.
Oh, amazing.
Yep.
10 out of 10.
Really? Okay.
I mean, that's my personal.
No, yeah, of course. We're here to give our personal opinions.
But I love it. I loved it. I keep going back to it, even now. So, like, that's impressive, right?
I also want to point out that this was the first Pixar film where Brad Bird did like pretty much he did pretty much everything. He directed it, and he did the screenplay and the story. So this is like a Brad Bird film, and a lot of the best, not all the best, but a lot of the best Pixar films are Brad Bird films. So I just shout out to the guy.
Hey.
He knows what the fuck he's doing. Anyway, continue.
And it was the first Pixar movie that came out in the year that we were born. So
That's true. November 5th, 2004.
But I love it. I love the Pixar. The soundtrack's great. Like,
oh my god, soundtrack out of this world.
I mean, I should mention, like, obviously, like, Toy Story had the iconic You Got a Friend in Me.
Of course.
That's, but I love the soundtrack in Incredibles. It really has, like, superhero vibes. It's really well written. And it's just a great movie. And it's still, like, really good for kids now. Like, my nieces loved it.
Yeah.
It's their favorite.
The humans actually look good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Humans improved.
Yes, 100%. I mean, the villain looks stupid, but I think he's kind of supposed to look stupid.
Yeah. Well, maybe that was the point, because you said this was the first movie that had humans in it, so they had to make it.
It was the first movie where, like, all the main characters were humans.
Yeah, where it was, all humans, so they had to make it better. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. And I also want to mention that, so you said 10 out of 10?
Mm-hmm.
I also want to mention that, to me, this is when Pixar kind of got a bit more, like the characters and the story and just really everything about their movies. This is when they started feeling a bit more fleshed out. Like, and once again, I love Toy Story 2, but even, like, I can even admit that Toy Story 2, like, it feels kind of primitive. Like, it feels like it feels like one of Pixar's first films. I mean because it is, but, like, it feels like, I don't know how to explain it, but I guess just with The Incredibles, I feel like it was a bit of a turning point. Like, they just started getting better at writing the script, I guess. And not that, once again, not that the other movies had bad scripts at all. No, they had good scripts. Just that, I don't know. The Incredibles just, I guess it's a bit more mature. And I don't mean that, I mean, there are quite a few adult references. One of my favorite scenes being when, they're a happy couple, so Bob slaps Helen's ass while they're walking by, and then she reaches out her elastic arm and slaps his ass. It's pretty funny. But I don't know why that's important, but I thought I'd mention it.
What would you rate it?
What would I rate it?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I can't give it a 10. I can't give it a 10. I'm reserving 10s, like, in all of these videos we do. I'm reserving 10s for, like, one of the greatest films ever made, in my opinion. Like, I think in Ghibli, I only gave the 2 10s. I only gave them to Princess Mononoke and Spirited Away, because those are 2 of my favorite movies ever. And The Incredibles, God, it's really close. Like, it's, I don't know. I'm almost tempted to give it a 10, but I just don't think
Give it a 10. Go
give
ahead.
it a 10.
Give it...
But
9.5.
Yeah.
9.75.
Oh fuck! I don't know. I don't know. You know what? Fine. Fuck it. 10. It's a 10. It is a 10. It's a 10. It's not as good as the other two tens that I'm waiting to give in this video that I already know what they're gonna be, but it's still a 10. It's like it's a 10. It's a fucking 10. There, I said it. It's a 10. All right, moving on. Also, I want to comment on what like every single movie reviewer has said about this movie. How it's like a superhero movie, but it's also a family movie, and it's really special. Anyway, um, moving on, and I just want to mention that like the next few movies, like from The Incredibles up until um, uh, like like movies 6 through 10, like the 5 movies starting with The Incredibles are all like really 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 good except for the next one, which is Cars from 2006. It goes The Incredibles, Cars, Ratatouille, Wall-E, and Up. Like it's such a good
Oh,
batch of movies except for fucking Cars. Oh good
uh,
lord.
oh, Cars. Oh, Cars.
Cars.
I mean, I watched it. I didn't hate it. But it's not my top 5.
Oh yeah. If it's anyone's top 5, they're either 7 or like they or like their dad didn't hug them enough as a
I mean, like
child,
if I
and they're
put it in
50 and
front of like a
and they
kid, I'm
collect all the
sure
toys.
I'm sure a kid would be fine with it, and like I was fine with it. Like there's nothing necessarily wrong. Like story wise, animation wise, like this, it's fine, but it's not great. Um, you know, there's like that argument that, oh, they're cars. Like, how do they live? What is the
Yeah, I
car
remember who
world
was
like?
it? Was it Jello Apocalypse who was on about that?
Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
that's a big argument. And like in defense of the movie, they don't care about that. It's a kids movie.
We're not talking about car sex, okay?
Yeah,
Get your
we're
mind out
like,
of the fucking
it's
gutter.
just about cars, okay? We made some cool story in our head, and it happened to be cars, okay?
Yeah.
Like I get it, but it's still like not one of my favorites. Um, but I wouldn't say it's bad either. Like it's just kind of there. Um, it's obviously very popular, so I guess they did something right there.
I mean, it's popular, but it's popular amongst children. It's not really
I
popular.
know, but that was the main
Yeah.
point, main demographic.
No,
So
but
they did it right.
I would argue that at least most Pixar films from this era, like The Incredibles, Wall-E, Ratatouille, like those aren't really kids movies. Like kids can enjoy them, but they're like really like they're just
Yeah.
movies and they're enjoyable by anyone. But like Cars, no, that is a kids movie. That doesn't mean that someone who's older can't enjoy it. It just means that like it's its designated audience is 100% children. There's nothing there that is meant for teenagers or adults.
I was
So,
just saying, if a child put this on and I had to watch it with them, I wouldn't hate it as much. Say Bug's Life.
yeah.
Like I give the room, but I could get through Cars and like feel like I didn't waste an hour of my time.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would agree. I think I mean I don't remember it that well, but I remember it being like decent last time I saw it. So I think I'm going to give it I think I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. So like
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
decent, kind of like okay.
Yeah.
6 out of 10. All right.
Mhm.
All right. Now this I already kind of spoiled it like what the upcoming films are, but number 8, 2007, Ratatouille.
Woo! 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 Um. Again, I'd have to say 10.
I oh my god.
How many times have we watched this movie?
I, I don't know. It's like good god, it's like an integral part of not even just my childhood, but everything I do, like my life. And I know people are gonna be like, "Oh, what a freak! He's constantly thinking about this animated movie." No, it's not like it's constantly on my mind, but it's affected me in subconscious way, in a good way, in subconscious ways that I'm not always thinking about consciously. But when I really reflect, I'm like, this movie is everything to me. This movie is a masterpiece. This movie is life changing, no matter how old you are. But I was just lucky enough to see it at a young age where it could influence me then and influence me now. And I know I'm getting really deep and philosophical here. I'm going to let you go first because I have a lot to say about this. So.
Oh, well, I won't take up much because I'm sure you'll say everything that I'm going to say. But I'm just going to say, the soundtrack's good. I'm going to be paying attention to the soundtrack.
Oh my god, soundtrack is so good.
Yeah. Story, people, again, people better.
They look good. They actually look really good.
And I mean the food too.
Yes, it looks
like it looks good. Like the animation is good. Everything is good. I love it. But I'll let you take it away because I'm sure you have a lot to say.
Oh my god, bro. Yes, I do. I know every nook and cranny of this movie. I can this film. This film, okay? It is it's a work of art, okay? It's like every aspect of it is brilliant. There's not like a single part of this movie I can think of that isn't like absolutely brilliant and perfect in every single way possible. Like great characters, brilliant storyline, really wacky concept that actually works. Like if I told you there was a movie about a rat who controls a guy's head or controls the guy's movements by pulling on his hair under his chef's hat and makes him cook, you'd call me a mad person. You'd say that's the dumbest shit you ever heard, but it fucking works. And you know who fucking makes it work? Brad Bird. Brad Bird makes it work. This is another Brad Bird film primarily. But wow. This is just a brilliant film. And like, you know, I'm definitely not the first person to say this, but this does not feel like a kids movie. It feels like it can be enjoyed by kids, but personally, I've gotten way, way, way more out of this movie now as a teenager than I ever did as a child. I mean, this is a masterpiece. And its message manages to be really conscious, like socially conscious, without sounding like they're trying to be woke. I mean, this was before like the era of media where everyone was trying to prove how woke and open-minded they were. So of course there's that, but like also like it doesn't feel preachy. But when you think about it, what they're saying in this movie is like it's very like anti-racist, anti-discrimination of any kind, really. It's like anyone can cook, anyone can be great. Like you can't discriminate. And like and the fucking review at like towards the end of the movie from Anton Ego, like I literally I cry when I watch that part of the movie. I literally cry every time. And I like if I'm watching with other people, I'm like, all right, everyone shut up. This is the best part of the movie. Um it's beautiful. It's a wonderful movie. It's perfect. And I think it's my favorite movie ever, and I think it's like the only movie I would consider to be an 11 out of 10. I'm going to say it. This is an 11 out of 10 film. This is my favorite movie ever. I only give 11 out of 10s. I don't throw that shit around. I know a lot of people are like, this is 11 out of 10. This is 10. This is 11. Like a lot of people do that because they get really excited. No. This This movie is the only 11 out of 10 movie, just like how Jane Doe by Converge is the only 11 out of 10 album, in my opinion. I only do it for my favorites, so this is an 11 out of 10 movie. 100%. Yeah.
Good.
So you'd also give it a 10?
Yeah, I mean 10. I guess 11 out of 10 too. I mean, I didn't know we were doing that.
Well, if it's your favorite movie of all time, like reserve that for like really your favorite movie ever.
No, well, well, anyway.
You think it's your favorite ever?
I don't know if it's my favorite ever. I don't really have a favorite movie, so I can't really say.
You have a favorite anime?
Well, yes.
Snow White and the Red Hair an 11 out of 10?
Yes. And I have a favorite book, but I don't have a favorite movie. Movies are weird for me.
What's your favorite book?
Well, it changes all the time, but my recent one is The Night Circus, which I just read.
Oh.
It's my favorite one right now.
Cool.
But it could change next month.
So that's more of like an ever-evolving thing, whereas like Snow White and the Red Hair is always going to be your favorite anime.
Unless something better comes up, but I haven't seen it, so
So far it hasn't.
In that genre, not. But anyway,
that's off topic. I was just curious. Yeah, Ratatouille, brilliant film. Moving on to. Wall-E.
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 10 out of 10.
Oh, Wall-E.
Wall-E.
I don't think I can ever forget. Was it? I think it was Jello Apocalypse who said this. I don't think I can ever forgive Jello Apocalypse for calling this movie a cute robot love story. Was it him who said that, or was that Shea Frillis Productions?
Yeah, that was him.
It was Jello Apocalypse?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. He's a good YouTuber. I enjoy his content. But there are two things I can never forgive him for. One, giving Ratatouille a 6 out of 10. And two, calling Wall-E, he said Wall-E was a 10, but then he called it a cute robot love story. It is not a cute robot love story. It is so much more than that. Shut up! Anyway, I'm sorry.
I mean, it is a little bit, but
well, that's just one of the many, 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 many amazing aspects of this film. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a cute robot love story, but it's so much more. It's so much more. Anyway, I'm sorry. Do you want to start?
No, I haven't. I mean, I'm lost for words.
I mean, I really just wanted to say, like, Wall-E is. I mean, I know a lot of people have said they find it preachy, but like, fuck you if you find it preachy. Like, your values are out of line if you think this movie is preachy, because all it's saying is care about the fucking earth, and they're not even trying to shove it down your throats. I mean, I guess you could say, like, since it, like, the movie starts off showing you all the trash and all the humans left, like, yeah, I get it. Like, they're trying to drive the point home that, like, no one cares about the earth anymore. But, like, it never feels preachy to me. It always feels like it's just a beautiful, touching story of a robot who essentially learned how to feel. He learned about humans through the artifacts of them he collected. He fell in love with another robot. There is a love story, and it's very cute. But then he saves the fucking planet because he brings a little pea plant. Wasn't it a pea plant? I think it was a pea plant. In a boot. And the fat dude liked the pea plant. And the wheel didn't like the pea plant. No, but really though, it is an amazing film. 10 out of 10 for me. Definitely like probably my second favorite Pixar movie, second only to Ratatouille, and then The Incredibles is number 3. So like we already have the top 3 out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the 3 10 out of 10s for me. Anyway, do you have anything else to add?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
What would you give it?
I said 10.
A 10. All right. I will stop hogging the mic. Those are the two that I'm really passionate about. I mean, there's some other great ones coming up, but those are the two that like, wow, really blew my mind. But anyway, next up at number 10 we have Up.
I like Up. I mean, it's not at the level of Ratatouille or Wally, but it has, good feelings, good vibes. It's a good time.
I mean, I remember. I mean, I watched that one recently with Lisa because Lisa had never seen it, so we kind of rewatched it together. Um, and I really love it. I'm once again, I'm certainly not the first to talk about this, but that beginning with like when they found out like Ellie couldn't have kids and then she died, like that's heartbreaking. The fact that it's all done with no words is like it's really an impressive way to make a movie. It was a beautiful scene for as sad as it was.
You cry in the first 10 minutes.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh my god, yeah.
It's like an emotional roller coaster. And I think I do forget the man's name. What is his name?
Carl.
Carl. There it is. I knew it started with a C. Or something like that. Or K. I don't know how they're spelling it. But I thought he was pretty funny at times.
Yeah, the fight, like the old man fight between him and Charles Muntz is like the funniest shit. Like he tries to hit him with his walker, but then his back cracks. He's like, oh, and then he says, "Any last words?" And he like spits out his fake teeth in the guy's face. It's so funny.
But the house was just started to flow away, and then the kid was on the porch.
Yeah.
Please let me in. No.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think for as depressing as, I mean, for as beautifully depressing as that beginning scene is, it's a very funny movie. Like it's a feel good movie, and I really enjoy it. A lot of things don't add up if you pay attention when Charles Muntz is talking. Like, there's a lot of things he says about like, oh, I went hunting, or I went looking for artifacts with President Roosevelt. It's like if you and this was from a video by Super Carlin Brothers where they did a theory that Carl's actually like crazy during the movie, like he loses his mind. And that would make sense considering if you think about like the age of Charles Muntz and like the dates and all that, like he would have been 8 years old going on expeditions with the president. So I don't know, like.
But who knows? I mean, I think they're just.
I mean, look, I don't want to I don't want to like shit on plot holes because I really think that plot holes don't drag a movie down too much, but yeah, like it's just a brilliant film and I love it. I love the shit out of it. It's funny, it's charming, and it's just a great story.
I think I'd give that one a 9 out of 10.
Me too. I think I'd give it a 9. All right, next up at number 11, from 2010, we have Toy Story 3.
Toy Story 3. This is the weird.
With the evil pink bear.
This one scared me a little bit. Not because of the animation, just because it's actually scary.
Yeah, the bear is freaking Lotso. It's terrifying, bro.
But I like the kids. I mean, the animation is better, but like the kids scene where they're like throwing the toys and they're smashing them. I don't know.
That's terrifying, but like it's supposed to be, isn't it?
It's supposed to be terrifying, but like that was terrifying, and I feel bad. That's the point, but you really hit.
Yeah.
Things. I don't think it's better than Toy Story 2.
Absolutely not.
Ever. No. I do think it's better than Toy Story 1.
Really?
Oops. I think. I don't know. I haven't watched that one in a very long time. And did think like the Barbie doll thing is kind of funny.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna give it like a 7.5. Like it's right in between.
All right, 7.5.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna give it. I think I'll also give it a 7.5. And keep in mind, I gave Toy Story 2 a 9 and the first Toy Story an 8. So I don't think it's as good as its predecessors, but I do like it. From what I can remember, I did enjoy it quite a bit. Um, yeah, 7.5 for me for Toy Story 3. I do need to rewatch it sometime, I think. But anyway, next up is a movie that, like, at this point has been so memed and is so hated that just saying the title makes me laugh. Cars 2.
Bad.
Cars 2.
Bad.
It's like
so bad.
it's almost on the level as like it's like the Pixar equivalent of they did surgery on a grape. It's just a stupid phrase that you can say and like anyone will laugh. Like, hey guys, guess what? Cars 2. Yeah.
It's so bad. And like, okay, the original Cars was about Lightning McQueen. And they had Mater. And then Mater became a very well-loved character among children. So then they decided for the second movie that instead of focusing on like McQueen and Mater and the other characters, they just focused on Mater. And it's just like, why? What's the point? I mean, I didn't really like him that much anyway.
We don't need Mater the movie. I mean, he has his funny moments, but we don't need a full Mater movie.
It was a spy movie.
Why would you do that?
Why? We don't need a James Bond Cars movie.
Especially not when Mater's the fucking main character, bro.
I mean, get a 0 out of 10. Okay, I can't do that because it like a 1. 1 out of 10. 2 out of 10.
2 out of 10?
It's not good.
See, for me, like, it's bad, but like, I know there are worse movies out there.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I know you could put it in front of a kid and they'd be fine with it.
But like, yeah, I'm gonna give it like a 3 out of 10 because I remember I watched it at my friend's house when we were younger, and it was bad. I mean, yeah, it was just pretty shit. So I'm giving it a 3 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the same level as My Chemical Romance's Danger Days album, where they I don't know, they just didn't do it well, and that's what this movie is like for me. Anyway, moving on to another equally meme-ified movie that pretty much no one likes except for like, I don't know, 9-year-old horse girls. Brave.
Okay. Brave. Huh. It looked like it was gonna be amazing. And then they failed.
I don't remember it all too well. But
it just like it looked like it was gonna be good. Like, first of all, they had like a lack for female main characters. So like with this, it looked like it was gonna be really cool. She was an archer. She had a bow and arrow, wicked cool, and then it was about turning her mother into a bear. Like, huh?
Yeah. It
She didn't really do anything, and it was like all because she it's just like it could have been so good. What did they do wrong?
Yeah.
I went into this movie. I remember how I decided to watch it. We got it from the library, watched it. This is when, they had the movie disc players and computers.
Yeah. Did you watch it on a computer the first time?
Yes, I put the disc in the computer and I watched it. I was like, oh yeah, it's gonna be a great movie. And I watched it, but I got nothing from it.
My, how you were wrong.
Like, everyone thought it was gonna be good. That's the thing. Everyone thought that there was gonna be something good. because also like the character designs are cool. Like everyone thought this was gonna be great, and the story just sucked. And I feel terrible because I wanted it to be good.
You want it to be good so badly.
But who made it about bears?
Oh my god.
And it was her fault. Like it wasn't even like, okay, yeah, live up with your mistakes and like fix your mistakes, I guess. But like, I guess it's totally normal that every person is gonna turn their mother into a bear because they're mad. I don't know. I mean, I know it's fantasy and I get it, it's a child's movie, but like it didn't show any like real character development or character growth for this character. And she had a cool bow and arrow, and like she didn't like show it. She barely used it.
And then yeah.
I'm sorry. This movie makes me sad.
It is an incredibly. It is a disappointing film, and I don't remember it all that well, but yeah, no, I don't remember it being very good. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10. I think it's better than Cars 2, probably on the same level as Bugs Life for me, in terms of like I don't remember it that well, but I remember it not being good. What would you say?
I'm gonna keep going. It's not even funny. They have like the three like brothers that are supposed to be like the comic relief, and they're not funny. This movie makes me so sad.
Here, hold on just a second. I have to plug in my phone. Just give me a minute.
It made me so bad.
It sounds like a terrible experience. Yeah.
Again, if you put it in front of a child, I don't actually know, because it looks like it's gonna be cooler than it. I don't know.
Than it
like,
actually
first
is.
two, like you know what you're going to expect from it. Like it doesn't look that cool, at least in my opinion. Like yeah, it's about spies, but it's a spies car movie. I don't know. Like to me, it just doesn't work out. And then A Bug's Life, like it's bugs, their life. I mean, it's okay, but this looked like it was gonna be so good.
Yeah, it looked like it was gonna be good, but it wasn't good. Yeah, I'll give it a 4.
Yeah, I will go with. It just makes me so sad. Okay, that was my rant.
All right, we just got a Lily. We got Lily complains this time.
Mhm.
All right, now number 14, we have probably just like the biggest meh in the Pixar discography, Monsters University.
Well, this is what Jello Apocalypse said, and I would agree that you don't need this movie.
It's kind of a cash grab, isn't it?
Yes, and as he said, and I will agree, it contradicts the first movie. So what's the point? Like, it's just a cash grab. Like, they're not trying to build on the story. It's a prequel, I guess.
You're on a roll with the insults.
But from what I remember of Monsters Inc. is that they just met. At least I think that's what I remember.
Yeah.
Like, they just met. And then in Monsters University, they're claiming that they've known each other since
college,
elementary school. And
yeah,
like,
it would have been fine if they were friends already at the beginning of Monsters Inc. But this is just like you completely ignored. Like, if you wanted to make it a sequel, go ahead. But
actually make a sequel.
But like if you're trying to make a prequel, like you can't make a prequel of that movie because it's established that the two central characters have just met. But
I mean, unless they went to college, but I don't think that's what happened.
No, I think they did. I think it contradicted the original movie. But
yeah, so is it worse than Brave?
No. What did you give Brave? Did you also give it a 4?
4.
No, I'll give it a solid probably like a 6. Probably on the same level as Cars for me.
I don't know. Again, I watched it as a child. I actually remember this one because it was a drive-in movie theater. Okay, I think 5. 5, I guess.
A
5.
5. So
5.
you like it at least better than Cars Life,
Cars Life.
Bugs
Whoa.
Life, Cars 2, and Brave. It's at least better than those.
Yes.
I'd probably put it on the same level as Cars. Probably like a 6 for me.
But okay, the reason why it's not is because Cars, look, it can't exist. It doesn't contradict anything. It's fine. It exists and it's fine. Monsters Inc. is clearly a cash grab. They didn't need to make it.
Yeah, I guess like in concept it's probably worse than the actual movie itself. But yeah, I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Alright, hopefully this will cheer us up a bit. Number 15, Inside Out.
Yay!
Inside Out.
I like Inside Out.
I like Inside Out. This one, the plot holes are there and they're really bad. Like I said earlier, I don't want to comment on the plot holes, but like it is true. There's a reason people call out this one more than they call out other movies for plot holes. There's a lot of scenes where it's like you didn't have to do that, or you could have done this instead.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But
and
yeah.
and I guess the part where I don't know, like not yeah, there's a few plot holes, but like it's so good. It's so good. Oh my god, I love the characters.
I like the message of the movie.
I like the message.
It was really
I
good.
love the characters.
Like the message is like it's okay to be sad. If you're feeling sad, be sad.
Yeah.
You need to be happy all the time if something is bothering you.
And it's also just so entertaining, like conceptually, like the 5 people in your head, and then like when you go further into your brain, there's like past the emotions, you have the like the place where they like the dream theater. It's the name of a band. And yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was just
like how it was happiness, sadness, and joy that left on their adventure, and then fear, disgust, and anger stayed. And I liked how that worked because Riley wasn't able to express her sadness. Those are the emotions that came out. Therefore, they're the ones that stayed. Hey, that's kind of cool.
Right, because she was pissed about the fact that they moved. She was pissed at her friends. She was pissed at everything. She kind of hated life, and like
she was afraid of school.
Yeah, I feel like fear, anger, and disgust are like the holy trinity of like being a teenager or a preteen moving to a new place.
Yep. And because sadness wasn't there, she wasn't able to express it the way she wanted to, and like she didn't. I guess in real life, it's like she didn't think she had to put on a strong face because obviously that's like difficult for everyone a little bit, and she wanted to pretend that it was all fine, kind of. But yeah.
Yeah, I love this film. I remember the first time I saw it. I was like still pretty young, but I think I saw it like around when it came out, which was 2015. And at that point, I was definitely old enough to be able to be like, oh, this is a really good movie. I can definitely see what makes this such a good movie. This is like an artistic piece of work. Um, and I love it. I love the movie. I think I'd give that a 9 out of 10. I think it's another one of Pixar's best.
Yeah, I'd say that.
All right, we're gonna have a brief intermission while the dogs bark their asses off. And brief intermission is over. Next up, now we're getting into the movies that neither of us have seen, and this one for good reason. I have heard terrible things about this movie, The Good Dinosaur.
I haven't seen it. No idea.
I haven't seen it. I don't know either. I don't ever plan on seeing it. It just from what I've heard, and not even from hearing about people's opinions, but from hearing about the storyline and the concept and all that. Like it just sounds like a cash grab meant to appeal to very small children.
Let's look up its rating.
Yeah, look up the rating on Rotten Tomatoes. While you're doing that, we'll move on to number 17, Finding Dory. You haven't seen Finding Dory, have you?
Um, no, I've not.
All right, I'll briefly talk about Finding Dory. So I have seen Finding Dory more recently than I've seen Finding Nemo, so I remember it better than Finding Nemo. And I think it's fun. Would I say it's like fantastic and brilliant and everything is amazing about it? No. But I like it. I do like it. And I think I'd give it a 7 out of 10. I think it's like a fun adventure movie and it's pretty good.
Wait, which one are we talking about right now? I'm doing my research.
Finding Dory.
Oh, Finding Dory. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's just fun.
Going back to The Good Dinosaur, it got decent reviews.
Well, anytime a Pixar movie comes out, you have like the mainstream critics who will just like basically suck their dick because they're Pixar. But
I mean, again, I think it looks cute. I don't think it's something I would enjoy. Or
yeah.
we would enjoy. It's not like on level of, Incredibles or Ratatouille where we can all enjoy it and we all gain something.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that, but again, I think if we show it to a young child, and I think it'd be fine. Like the animation's cool, it looks cool. But I don't think I would enjoy watching it.
Yeah. I don't think I'm ever gonna watch it. I've heard that it's like one of the worst things Pixar's ever released, but anyway.
Let's look up this. Is The Good Dinosaur a bad movie? This review says it's the most disappointing film.
Ever?
Note that it's not the worst. It's technically accomplished, visually stunning, and certainly better than Cars 2.
Alright, so at the very least, this person's saying it's better than Cars 2, but it's just disappointing.
Yeah. Oh, IMDb gave it a 6.7. So Rotten Tomatoes got a 76%.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Know. It just seems like the most gorgeous disappointment. That's funny.
Yeah, no, like the animation looks good. Everything like it looks like visually good, but it sounds like the storyline makes no sense and it sucks. But I haven't watched it, so I can't really say shit. Anyway, next up, so we already talked about Finding Dory. I give it a 7 out of 10. Next up, have you seen Cars 3?
No.
Cars 3, probably the best Cars movie, but still not like great. I'd probably give it.
It got the same rating. Oh, sorry. It got the same rating as The Good Dinosaur on IMDb.
Cars 3.
There's that. But it got a 69 on Rotten Tomatoes.
A 69.
So,
yeah, I'd probably give Cars 3 like a 7. No, probably like more like a 6.5. It's alright. It's alright. Alright, now number 19. Coco from...
Coco! 10 out of 10.
From 2017. Really? 10 out of 10 for you?
Remember me. Yeah.
So you give it... So you're saying that there's 4 10s in the Pixar catalog?
I think so.
That's impressive.
Love Coco. Love it. I've seen it so many times. I love the soundtrack. I've played it on the violin. I love it. And yeah.
I think it's fun.
Are great.
I think it's really fun. I think really I need to rewatch it. I do really enjoy it, but I think I need to rewatch it. Right now I'd probably say an 8 out of 10. I think it's a fun adventure, great concept. But I do think I really need to rewatch it. I think I would enjoy it more now.
It's underrated, personally.
Underrated? Everyone talks about Coco.
I think it's underrated.
So even though everyone talks about it, you still think it's underrated? Yes. Jello Apocalypse gave it a 10. I know Shifrilla's production.
Slightly underrated. I think it is.
Really? Alright. Well, moving on to number 20, we have a movie that I think is not necessarily underrated, but maybe overhated. Incredibles 2.
Incredibles 2 was good. I mean,
I thought it was fantastic. I don't think it's quite as good as Incredibles, but I think it's pretty great.
It's an improvement from Cars 2. At least they figured out
Yeah,
This
they're making
can't.
better. They're
But
making much better sequels.
I guess Toy Story 2 was good, but
Well,
still,
yeah, but
this one's better. And I already hesitate when movies come out with something like that, like Incredibles 2, where there hasn't been a sequel in a long time. Like, at least with Toy Story, it's consistent, and they made 4 movies, and whatever. But like, you always hesitate with like the sequels because sometimes they can be really bad.
yeah.
And sometimes they're just cash grabbers, and you don't really know. And I think this is good. I don't think it was necessarily a cash grab. I think they took, a good amount of time to make this movie and care about the plot. Not saying that there aren't any plot holes, but I think it's pretty good. I don't know.
I like it even more than that. Like anyway, finish your thought. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm just gonna say like, I think it's fantastic. I like Elastigirl sort of taking on like the lead role. I think she's a great lead.
That's a good.
Seeing Bob like figuring out how to be like a dad was really nice. Like at first he struggled, but then he figured it out, and I thought that was really cool. Um, honestly, I really, really love it, and I think it's almost as good as the original. Not as good, not as good by a long shot, but almost as good. And I would give it a 9 out of 10, honestly. I really, really, really like it.
I would agree.
9 out of 10?
Yeah, and I love the scene. It was like what you just said when Bob is with the kids and he's like doing their homework, like dealing with their
You can't change math.
the baby. Like,
Oh yeah, and Jack Jack is hilarious. I was worried that they were gonna turn Jack Jack into like the Minions, where he's just like a cute little mascot, but no, he's legitimately really funny. I love Jack Jack. Next at number 21, Toy Story 4, which you didn't see that, did you?
No, I have not. I think the next few I have not seen. So.
All right. Well, I'll quickly run through them, because we have been doing this for now an hour and 5 minutes. So,
Oh.
and by the way, if people are watching at home and it's not at an hour and 5 minutes, it's because we had to take a short break, because Lily, what did you have to do? You had to let your dogs in. Yeah. So there was that. But anyway, Toy Story 4. I liked Toy Story 4. I always like to see character development from Woody, cuz like really that's been like the integral part of like the first movie, was that he learned. And with the fourth movie, I feel like he learned again, because like, I mean, do you want me to spoil it or no?
No, cuz I don't want to watch it. But
You do want to watch it?
Yeah. From what I heard, and this is just what I've heard other people say, and I haven't seen it, I don't know, but from what I heard is like Toy Story 4 has slightly the same issue as Frozen 2, where
I haven't seen Frozen 2, for the record.
I've seen Frozen 2.
Yeah,
and so the issue is that they focus on just one character, where they're trying to make, even though they're trying to make it about all of the characters, they're really just focusing on that one character. Like with Frozen 2, it was Elsa. Like, it probably would have been better, personal opinion, if they had just focused on Elsa, because it was mostly about Elsa. And what I've heard from Toy Story 4 is that it's, and I don't know this, but it's somewhat the same thing, that they are focusing on Woody and not the other characters as much, but I don't know if that's true, because I haven't seen it.
No, I definitely would say that's true, but I guess I don't mind, because I really like the story. I really like, once again, great messages from Pixar. I don't really mind the fact that it's mostly about Woody.
Maybe they made enough movies with all that include all of them that it's not so much.
And hey, maybe they're trying to make up for that, because in 2022, a day before my birthday, they're gonna come out with Lightyear, which I guess is not even about toys though. It's about like literally Buzz Lightyear, like actual Buzz Lightyear, like in space as a space ranger.
In space.
And I'm excited for it. I would love to see Pixar doing a sci-fi movie. All their movies are, not all of them, but a lot of them are kind of like deep and conceptual. So I'm wondering how they're gonna make like a sci-fi movie about Buzz Lightyear, like a conceptual thing with like a moral. Anyway, yeah, I'd probably give Toy Story 4 like an 8 out of 10. I think it's like equally as good, maybe a little bit better than the first. So I'd give those both 8 out of 10s. Not as good as Toy Story 2, of course, but yeah. 8 out of 10 for me. Number 22, Onward. Have not seen it.
I haven't seen it. Let's look up what the rating is.
I'm not necessarily that interested in seeing it. I haven't heard good things about it.
Well, it got a 7.4 out of 10.
You can't really listen to Rotten Tomatoes, okay? A lot of critics on there.
This is IMDb.
You can't listen to IMDb either. There's a lot of like big time critics.
I'm just
looking. A lot of people suck Pixar's dick, okay? Hey, the Beatles put out some pretty mediocre albums along the way, but people still gave them like really high ratings because it's the Beatles. Like people will suck the dicks of their favorite artists. So, or of their favorite artists or production.
7.4. Just saying.
All right. I think my favorite thing about this movie, even though I haven't seen it, my favorite thing that I know about it without having seen it is that the main character, like there was this one meme I saw. It showed a screenshot of Ratatouille when Linguini is like holding his pants out so that Remy will like go in there like so he can hide in there, and then it has that and it's a picture of the main character, because he looks like a combination of Remy and Linguini because he has like the curly hair but he's blue. It was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. It was a pretty funny ass meme. Okay, I'll find it for you. I'll send it to you. But it's a good ass meme. But yeah, I don't really. Yeah, I don't really. I've not watched Onward. I can't comment on it. But yeah, I've heard it's like just okay. Next up at number 23, Soul. I definitely think you got to see this movie, Lily. Soul is fantastic.
I need to. It got awards. Yeah, I need to see it.
I think
it looks amazing. I just haven't. I don't know.
I think upon initially watching it, I didn't like it as much because I was expecting it to be the Ratatouille of music, like the music's equivalent to like Ratatouille is to food as Soul is to music. It wasn't that, and I think the first time I was disappointed, but like watching it again when I sort of let myself see it as its own movie instead of as like another version of Ratatouille, I enjoyed it a lot better. And one thing, and this is gonna sound really awkward coming out of my mouth as a white person, but I'm really glad that they let black people be black. Like instead of making them talk like robots, like the way a lot of white people sometimes do, they allowed them to have personalities and once again this sounds really weird, but they had like the accent and they like interacted with each other in the way that like African Americans living in the city will interact with each other. Like they were like convincingly like they like I don't know. Like it sounds weird coming out of my mouth because I'm white, but like it seemed like I just liked that about it. That the characters like they seemed authentic, if that makes sense. It seems like a lot of like care went into like capturing like the spirit of jazz and the spirit of African American music in general and culture. But then at the same time, it's like it's like completely its own movie, separate from that. Like the whole like the soul world and like the concept. It's pretty wacky, but once you get into it, it's pretty funny, and I really enjoy it. Um, at first I was worried because Disney, I mean Pixar's owned by Disney, but just Disney in general has a bad habit of turning people of color into like animals or like non-human beings in their movies, and that's kind of what happened in the beginning, but like then it unhappened, and that was good.
That's good. I was just gonna mention that.
Yeah,
Glad.
just like in The Princess and the Frog. The first black Disney
Yeah.
princess gets turned into a fucking frog. Wait, which The Princess and the Frog is still a stellar movie. Okay, it's still really good. Love the music, love the story, but yeah, that was kind of weird that they always turn people of color into non-human beings. But yeah, they undid that. Um, Granted, and I don't want to spoil it too much. For much of the movie, the guy wasn't in his own body, but it was still a African American character. So I don't know. It wasn't. It didn't feel that way. It didn't feel like they were turning a person of color into a non-human object. It did not feel like that. No, it's a good movie. It's a great movie. Watch it. It's fantastic. Great music too. Great soundtrack. I believe I mean the jazz parts where they're actually playing jazz are fantastic, but also like the soundtrack itself was written by Trent Reznor of the Nine Inch Nails, who does a fantastic job. So love it. Love love Soul. I'm gonna give Soul a 9. And then we're gonna finish things up with their most recent movie, Luca. Um, which if you've noticed from if you've noticed watching this video, most of the movies I gave a 7 out of 10 to, I gave them that score because I didn't remember them that well. But this is a case where I do remember the movie very clearly because I watched it recently. But I would give it a 7 out of 10 because it's pretty good. It's not anything super amazing or special, but I like it. I like that there's like it sort of teases a gayness between the two main characters, and I kind of like that. It's not expanded upon, but hey, LGBTQ representation, sort of, kind of, we love that. But no, it's a cute film. I like it a lot. Not necessarily one of the best, not one of my favorites by any means, but yeah, I give it a 7 out of 10.
Wow.
And
I don't know.
that's where we're at. We are fully updated. We have some upcoming films. It says here next up, March 11th, 2022, Turning Red. I'm excited for that. It's a movie called Turning Red. It's the next Pixar movie. I believe the description says it's about a 13-year-old Chinese Canadian girl who and it's like another coming of age movie, but on top of that, whenever she gets like excited or stressed, she turns into a giant red panda. So
Huh.
so that's gonna be fun. I think it looks fun. Um, and I guess we're gonna see how it is when it comes out. But yeah, that is that's the video. Any last thoughts? Any last thoughts, Lily?
No.
No. Pixar's great. They were better. Like their golden age was like the
Early 2000s.
not the early 2000s. I'd say like the mid to late 2000. I mean, if we look here,
When did Ratatouille come out?
that was 2007.
Oh, I thought it was earlier. Okay, yes.
So I think their first like I'd say like 2004 to 2009 was their golden age. If you take out Cars, 2004 to 2009 was their golden age. But no, they're still going. I mean, sure the 2010s were a bit of a mixed bag for them, but 2020 off to a good start. I mean, I don't know about Onward because I haven't seen it, but Soul is fantastic. Luca's pretty good. I'm excited to see where they're gonna go because yeah. Anyway, that is all for that. Hope you enjoyed this episode of the Lilo and Heno podcast. Be sure to subscribe if you're not already subscribed and you want to see and you want to hear more stuff like this. And like the video if you enjoyed it. Let us know down in the comments. Like, what are your thoughts on every Pixar movie? Like, how would you rank them? How would you put them out of 10? Stuff like that. And yeah,
Yeah.
bye.
Bye.
We love you. Yeah. Pixar. Yay.